Happy Thanksgiving. This is one of my favorite holidays of the year. Probably in my, I don't know, top three. Do we consider Halloween a holiday? I don't know. But Thanksgiving is, I was lucky enough to be raised in a household where it was a real celebration. And we were the household where people would gather, family on the day of, and friends around the day. And it was something that I early in my life became really intoxicated with the vibe around Thanksgiving. And of course, like most things in my life, it had a lot to do with sports. I can remember watching the I guess it was 89 or 90 Iron Bowl over at my grandmother's house. Uh, and I was introduced to Auburn, Alabama, and just how important that game was. But I was lying on the floor of my grandmother's house in East Lansdowne outside of Philadelphia. Like, I guess it was in Philadelphia. And just like staring at this little black and white TV and becoming so entranced with the activity and the pageantry that was college football and Tracy Rocker playing for Auburn and really exciting stuff. I think one of those teams sucked and it was like they were having a really down year. And so I was cheering for the underdog. I think maybe it was Alabama. I feel like Bill Curry was the coach. Either way, I remember thinking, like, what is happening on this TV screen is amazing. And it's synonymous with this amazing holiday, right? My grandmother had people over the Friday after Thanksgiving. My grandmother rarely had company, so I have no idea why we were there. We were always at my house on Thanksgiving, except for one year. I think we went to my Uncle Lou's. And then after that, I started to work and I got away from home and, sports came first. I worked in sports, especially when you're dealing with schedules. Like I have a FCS playoff game on Saturday. I'm actually excited. It's on Saturday and it's not on Thanksgiving. So I get to do some Thanksgiving stuff with Christy and her family. My family's up north. Christy, of course, my girlfriend. So I think it's important today that we spend time with our families and tell them how much we appreciate them. Like Zach is right here producing. I appreciate Zach. Zach does a hell of a job. Zach just had a boy. How about that? So Zach has some family for this Thanksgiving. Although the baby was born on Halloween, we will celebrate. We're going to dress him up like a pilgrim this year. It's going to be really awesome. And anyways, we're not going to dress him up as a pilgrim because that would probably CPS is not far down the road. They could probably just walk over here and take us both into custody for suggesting such. But really celebrate your family, celebrate relationships. Hopefully you didn't go out too hard Wednesday night. That's another reason why I love Thanksgiving, because it was and be careful. You know who you are. If you turn this holiday into a nonstop party. I used to love Thanksgiving when I was drinking and using drugs because everybody drank like me, at least for a few days. Or at least that's what I thought. It was much easier to blend in. It was almost like a weekend for an alcoholic and a drug addict. Like, oh, finally, I don't have to hide it. I can have a beer in my hand all day. So I love Thanksgiving. I love it now because I can celebrate everything in real time and in reality and not have to anesthetize anymore. And sports is still there for me. So enjoy it today. Happy Thanksgiving from the Rogue Media Network. And of course, from me, thank you to all our sponsors, D1, Daniel Stark, First National Bank of Central Texas, of course, Slovacek's. If you're on the road, you're going to stop there, right? Stop at Slovacek's. There's no better time. The holidays are the best. And of course, we love Crawford Austin Properties, making this all possible. And thank you guys for watching, viewing, liking, subscribing, all that stuff. Keep doing it because we love you. Hopefully you love the show. All right. Have a great holiday.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level when we shut down to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
I mean, yeah, a new coach comes in, they're going to turn the roster. I think that's just we've got all these transfer portal stats and what Dion did and what Fritz has done. I mean, that's the deal, man. That's the game that's being played nowadays.
Maybe a little bit unknown at quarterback. I mean, unknown to the rest of the world, but you know, he dove into the portal and got a guy who is super, super athletic.
South Dakota State's really good. Give us a little bit of breakdown about what they can do and what Oklahoma State needs to be worried about.
Look at that form right there. I need to say nothing else about this because I found one.
It is Matt Mosley, and it's the Obstructed View podcast, Rogue Media Network. I think they're learning that there's really no wonderful view of me. See, I feel like they think this feed's going to be really wonderful.
There must have been no BS, like 20 scouts, 15 to 20 NBA scouts there to see him, and he was top 5.
When your old number wasn't working, I went through various channels to track you down. So unfortunately, you can never get away from me. But I'm happy. Man. I'm happy to have you today.
No, thanks for having me. And you know, we always family, no matter where I'm at.
All is right with the basketball world. God's gift to the game of basketball, the Boston Celtics are back in the NBA Finals, baby. I don't think the Mavs did anything special. They played well enough to win and win pretty good. You know what I mean? Yeah. I thought the Celtics didn't show up to play at all, and maybe if they showed some fight in the second half, they would have lost by 15 or so. Is he in the Red Sox Team Hall of Fame?
He is also in the Red Sox Hall of Fame.
Something about this guy being in the Team Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I did.
So,
deserving, man.
Which seems like it fits.
Welcome to a special edition of the Doomsday Podcast. Look at this. We got one of the great golfers in the world, certainly one of the great pass rushers in NFL history.
But he also had a vision for you. And so it was like you had the best of both worlds, right? You had somebody on you early, and then you had somebody who was maybe more relaxed.
What were a couple of your biggest takeaways? The person you referred to that I spoke with, I've spoken to some personnel people and general management of the league to get some, independent, objective assessments of the players the Cowboys picked, and we'll go through that. Has the general manager changed at all in the draft room?
Nope, it's been the same since I was here the last time.
We are Rogue Media Sports.